Good day, viewers, and straight to the stories in bracket science in the tabloids, like promised in my last video. I will apologize because it looks like I don't go to the papers strictly by date. The last paper I went was off the series of dates. I think the paper, I detected that the paper was getting torn. It was in shutters, so I had to, it was getting torn. It was, parts of it were torn, so, and I had to go there. So please, if I don't go by dates, please bear with me. There might be some reason, apart from me being careless. Apart from me being careless. So let's go today. This is what we are going. Love and Strange. You see me, I said love and strange again. Love and life. Anyway, I've shown you the picture, love and life. So, the first story, man lives in a box for 44 days. We are going back in history. Man lives in a box for 44 days. Let's go there before we come to other stories. Uh, magician David Blaine's Magician David Blaine's latest trick, living in a clear plastic box hanging above the Thames River in London for 44 days, is bringing out the hooligans. According to reports, only 6 hours into the stunt, he was pelted with eggs by some teenagers who were consequently run off by security officials. Also, two people sporting golf clubs tried to hit Blaine's box as they hit balls from the Tower Bridge. Another man watching coverage of Blaine, pardon me if I don't call it well, if I don't call the name well. Another man watching coverage of Blaine on television decided to go shake things up a bit by playing an Indian drum in the middle of the night to wake up the illusionists. To wake up the illusionists. We were watching him at home on TV, and it was really dull. So we thought we would come down and liven things up, said 21-year-old Shiraz Azam. I wanted to wake him up. As a result of these pranksters, security around Blaine has been doubled and a fence has been put up. Blaine has only a journal. Blaine has only a journal, a pillow, some pens, and lip balm in the box with him. He is drinking water through a tube, and his urine is being tested daily for signs of kidney or liver damage. Apparently, he wasn't eating. Blaine entered the 7x7 plastic box on Friday, saying, I can only hope for the best and expect the worst. Story ended. Let's go to okay. Let's go to jokes. Jokes. First joke, birthday post. Birthday post. My Nigerian brothers will say birthday post. They're very good at English anyway. When they write English, Nigerians, they're very good. But our pronunciations are different. When we say birthday, they say birthday. Hmm? But that doesn't mean that they are not good in English. Nigerian can teach English very well. They speak uh, very well English. They speak good English. Okay, birthday post. It was my birthday, and I was really excited when a parcel arrived for me. It was from my new boyfriend, who had sent me a lovely bracelet and card. I put the bracelet on, and as I was running late, I took the card with me to open later at work. When my coffee break finally came, I ripped open my card and something dropped out onto the floor. My colleague bent down to pick it up for me and started smirking. You know how you smirk? And started, uh, s- oh, I've lost it. And started smirking. Dash. It was a photo of my boyfriend who was naked. So sometimes we are very careless. Careless. You are posting this to your girlfriend. You are assuming that she's the only one. You are assuming that everything will be straight. Nobody will see it. Now it fell down and somebody saw it. Mm. So housework horror. Mm. So that's second story. I was discussing housework pet hates. Housework pet hates. PET hates. HATES. I was discussing housework pet hates when my neighbor the other day with my neighbor the other day when she mentioned that hers was ironing. In other words, she hates ironing. Oh, mine too, replied the writer. That's the writer. I said, Adam, okay, I said, Adam, don't you just want to laugh when you see people with creases down the front of their jeans? A question. Not only do they look stupid, but they must be incredibly boring people who have nothing better to do with their time. Absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. That's the speaker. I had just finished shouting. I've just finished shouting off when my neighbor's husband came in wearing his jeans complete with ironed creases down the front. In other words, he was more or less uh, insulting his neighbor. I just finished shouting off my neighbor's when my neighbor's husband came in. So in other words, he was insulting the husband's husband, the neighbor's husband. You know, women and gossip. Pardon me. I have a mother, but she doesn't gossip anyway. She hates it. True. Uh, so I've just finished shouting. I don't know what this shouting is. I don't know whether it's shouting. Pardon me, like I said, I don't know any everything. Shouting is spelled Shounding. Shouting. So I don't know whether it's shouting off or shouting. I don't know. So let's go to the next story. Anyway, brush strokes. Whilst on my way, I was annoyed to discover a graffiti artist had left uh, daubs of colored spray, daubs of colored spray paint at intervals up and down the street. I decided to get to work scrubbing scrubbing brush with a scrubbing brush and managed to remove the offending marks. Later, I was rewarding myself with a cup of tea when there was a knock at my door. It was a very disgruntled workman who had spent the morning making out the line of new drainage pipes for the street, only to return to find them all gone. He was calling on me to ask if I had seen any kids lacking about, but she did it herself. See, she just saw the paint marks, called the drops, without knowing it was a worker who wanted to do some good work to her community. She brushed them off. The worker didn't see him and walked and asked him whether she saw some children around. And she didn't. She was not courageous enough to say, "Oh, I did it. It's not children." I don't know if it were you, would you admit or not? Hmm? I think I will tell the truth. Uh, okay, let's see this story. Murder suspect arrested at Kulebu mortuary. The Holy Bible is on the explicating on the consequences of sin or crime, especially the spillage of innocent blood. It says, "The soul that sins shall die." But strangely, most sinners dread to die as decreed in the Bible. Cowards, as most of these sinners are, they die the proverbial death many times before their natural deaths. If you are doubting, if you are doubting Thomas, following me to Kolebu, much. Oh, okay. Now I will read what I see. I think he's supposed to say, "Follow me." If you are doubting Thomas, follow, following me to Kolebu mortuary. That's an error. It was like a scene in a movie, comical and swift. But believe you, in me, this was real as friends, relations, and sympathizers pounced on a strongly built man at the Kolebu mortuary and dealt blinding slaps amidst curse and yells that instant justices must be meted to, to the then suspected murderer who is the now captive was unto the marrow and was bleeding for mercy and was pleading for mercy not to be lynched by the irate mob. For he will speaketh the truth. Okay, now well. For he speaketh the truth. He sang like a bird, thus, "I will speak the truth. I will speak the truth." Whatever truth he meant could not be said, but he was timely saved from death by the police, who fired shots to scare the adamant and charged assailants who wanted to lynch the suspect mercilessly. Let's see if the reason is coming. Love and Life gathered that the suspect, popularly called Zongo Fighter, yes, mm, Zongo Fighter, you think you are the only fighter? They would have lynched you. Okay, the suspect, popularly called Zongo Fighter, had come to the mortuary early, either to collect a deceased relative for burial, had come to the mortuary either to collect a deceased relative for burial, but was, I think it's earlier. Let me replace the either with earlier. Had come to the mortuary earlier to collect a deceased relative for burial, but was so incidentally identified by a relative of the Baba, of one Baba who had been abducted from Ablekuma by a gang of land guards, including the suspect, and had been gruesomely killed, including the suspect, and had been gruesomely killed and dumped at Bawe, whose body was about to be collected for burial, but for burial at some Kolebu mortuary on the Kolebu mortuary on the oh God, I don't know. You can't make sense of it. The look, please, I'm reading what I see. Please. Uh, Dumped at Bawe, whose body was about to be collected for burial at some Kolebu mortuary. On the Monday, September 8th, 2003, by a big crowd of Muslim youth and sympathizers and family. Meanwhile, the police earlier before this incident at the mortuary has hauled other suspects. Invariably, the police bosses are poised to rout all criminals nationwide, a source hinted the reporter. I don't know, nationwide is spelled differently, nation and then wide, separate, nationwide. I don't know if I'm wrong or they are wrong. A source hinted this reporter. But those meted on but those meted on suspicion for the gruesome murder of Baba, Isaac, Amo, Agbawe, and Elswowo and El Shawo, these are the murderers at Ablekuma, shall be grilled to know the who's. Oh, I don't know this thing. Okay, let me replace. I'm reading what I see. To know the who's. Who's is spelled HWHOSA. Sorry, HWOSA. To know the who's, the house. Okay, okay, I think it's correct. To know the who's, the house, and the ways behind the gruesome and beastly murder, reminiscent of brutal killing of two policemen, Osu Sechiri Elias Ninja and Wonu Elias Taylor years ago. I think they came to find out, to investigate to know who killed those policemen earlier. The reaction being that the reaction being that despite the slaughter of El Shawo at Ablekuma, so he was killed. El Shawo at Ablekuma, the abduction of Baba and Amo, and their eventual slaughter at Bawe by the gangsters land guards and their benefactors who are who are nothing but land racketeers. A deceptive and cannon color and being painted that a deceptive and cannon color had been painted. This is not an error, it's my error. Had been painted that the slaughtered people were given the dog a bad name and hung it. Were given were given into inverted commas the dog a bad name and hanging, inverted commas close, forgetting that crime, whether committed at the church, mosque, palace, prisons, the cemetery, or the stadium, is criminal and deserves investigation, prosecution, and eventual consequential punishment if indicted. Okay, the next story. Man predicted his own oh, Man predicted his own death 2 weeks ahead. Baba Baba Sengrin, one of the three victims of the recent Ablekuma Bawe murder case, was laid to rest at the Awudome Cemetery by a very big and youthful crowd last Monday, 8 September 2003. Baba and his friend Amo, a driver, were alleged to have been abducted from their home at Aglekuma by some land guards and killed before being dumped at Bawe by their abductors. It was gruesome and tragic. According to an unimpeachable family source, the deceased, 2 weeks before his untimely death, had predicted that though I have built a small house for my mom, I am not satisfied with that, but I fear those people will kill me because we have no protection. Oh, it's sad. And true to his prediction, like a presto, exactly 2 weeks a group of land guards attacked, and he was abducted and murdered, though he was said to have put up a strong resistance, strong as he was, but was said to have been weakened by gunshots from his attackers. When asked who were those he feared for his life, he was said to have referred to land guards operating at the Ablekuma border, who had earlier on attacked his junior brother's 15 years boy. Well, that's what I'm reading what I see 15 years boy and another young man, wounding them even in the presence of some police personnel who should have protected or arrested those assailants. The two boys were dumped Choco, at Choco police station. It was alleged later some police personnel, uh, let me read what I see. Some police personnel come to arrest some of the said assailants who were butchered, sorry, said, who, some said, come to arrest some of the assailants who butchered his junior brother, now mentally insane. The suspect, the suspects, singular, were the suspect were set free, and they constantly sent messages of threats to to his life almost every 2 weeks until almost every 2 weeks. Another it's also my not my writing. Almost every 2 weeks until the dream until the dream to eliminate him became a reality. Last 2 weeks at power. May his soul and the others rest in peace. Who has seen this girl? This is a missing girl. I don't need to read it. I don't need to read it. Let's go. I have I have frightened him away. This is a 17-year-old girl who mistakenly told the boyfriend that they should have sex, and the boyfriend started avoiding him. And the boyfriend started avoiding her. You see my error again. Mhm. You see, I say, some say, what do you say? Those who want don't get. Those who get don't want. Mhm. So she proposed. She suggested to the girl boyfriend that they should have sex. Meanwhile, she's a virgin. I think the boy was also a virgin. He just started avoiding her. You know, I think that is something to comment on. Started avoiding her, and she's complaining. I'm worried about the size of my breast. How will I know when I'm pregnant? He asked me to perform oral sex. I want to have sex. Stella, a woman. My boyfriend and I are talking about having sex. The thing is, I have not started my periods yet. I am 16 years. Does this mean we can have sex without a condom? So somebody who hasn't even seen one period, one menstrual course, is wanting to have sex. Now let's go to my favorite, or maybe coincidentally to your period, strange but true. Story one: solar powered vehicle. The highest speed attained under IHPVA, into brackets, International Human Powered Vehicle Association, rules, brackets close, rules, uh, under IHPVA rules by solely solar powered vehicles is 24.74 mph miles per hour. A belly flower, a bellflower, California, on July 1st, 1984, by Sunrunners, designed by Joel Divisions and Gray Johnson, a photovoltaic power system. Okay, steam cars. On August 19, 1985, Robert E. Barber broke Robert E. Barber broke the 79-year-old steam car record. Oh, one of it is spelled steam, the other one is spelled steam. Steam cars. Then here is talking of steam car record. Please, not my writing. Driving, driving no. I don't know his name 7. Maybe let's put number there. Driving is NO. Driving no number no 744 steaming demon at 145,608 miles per hour on the Boulevard Salt Flats, Utah. I was built by the Barber Nicholas Engineering Co. Here again, I think it was built. Mm. So it was built by the Barber Nicholas Engineering Co. Mm. So maybe workers in these papers are my brothers because we make mistakes together. Okay, gasoline consumption at the Shell Oakville at the Shell Oakville Research Center test track at Ontario, Canada, on May 29th, 1986, times layer of the University of Saskatchewan covered a distance of 5,000 of 5 stroke 5,91 miles on 1 gallon. So 1 gallon he did 5,91 miles. I don't know. Even the miles I put miles there, but let me read what I see. 5,91 m on 1 gallon. So maybe meters. Most durable car. The highest record. Oh, this session is all about racing and cars. Most durable car. The highest recorded mileage for a car was 1,184,880 authenticated miles by August 1978 for a 1959 Mercedes 180D owned by Robert O. Riley of Olympia, Washington. Its subsequent fate is unknown. R.L. Bender of Madison I don't know, was claimed. I don't know. I think it was claimed. WIS, and the capital of Madison, Wis. Okay, maybe a place. Wis of Madison, Wis, claimed 1,020,000 mi for his car in December 1983. Render's car reached 1,021,000. Okay. Let me read it as I see it. Render's car reached 1,021,0412 MI on July 9th, 1984. He's been driving it since 1958. Hey, this column is all about engines. So largest aircraft carriers or means of is all about means of transport. Uh, the warship, the warship with the largest full load displacement in the world are the Nimitz class U.S. Navy aircraft carriers. USS Nimitz, Theodore 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 Roosevelt, Dwight D. Dwight D. Elshover, Abraham Lincoln, and Carl Vinson at 91,487 tons. They were 1,092 feet in length overall and have a speed well in excess of 30 k 30 k knot, maybe nautical miles, 30 k knot, 35 into brackets, 35 miles per hour with their Anclair powered 260,000 shaft HP geared steaming. Their com- their complement is six. Okay, their complement is 6,300. The total cost of the Abraham Lincoln laid down New at Newport News in December 1984 will exceed, together with the George Washington $3.5 billion. Even cost is not spelled at cost; it's spelled as COS. Mm. It's spelled at dollars, excluding the 90 plus aircraft car, uh, excluding the 90 plus aircraft carried, comma, or full stop. He, HEUSS Enterprise is, however, 1,102 feet long, and thus will he, and thus, and thus still he longest warship ever built. I think it's the longest. I think it's the longest, but it's spelled and still he longest. Maybe he the longest warship built. Fastest Atlantic crossing. Maybe I've strained my eyes. I'm tearing. Mm. Fastest Atlantic crossing. A 65-foot powerboat, the Virgin Atlantic Challenger. The Virgin Atlantic Challenger 11, sailed by Richard Branson, a 35-year-old U.S. businessman and his crew of six. SeaWorld, oh God. SeaWorld is spelled S-E, then space A. So SeaWorld record in June 1986 for all types of booze. Oh God. I don't know. The booze is spelled BOAS. That's all, by taking only 3 days, 8 hours, 31 minutes from NYC, New York to Bishop's Rock off the coast of England. This beat, okay, oh, okay. This beat that is what I'm reading here is this beat, BEAT. This beat the record held by the 51,988 gross ton transatlantic transatlantic liner, United States by 11 by hours 11 minutes. I don't know whether by 1 hour, but it is hours. It's not even an if it's an hour, it's okay. But the n is not there. It is and then the hours is plural. Hours 11 minutes. Hmm? Maybe I'll show you to some of you may be able to manage and fix your own words there. Uh, Largest gas deposits. Okay, we all know should be. The largest gas deposits in the world is at Urenjoy, USSR, with an eventual production of 200, 200, whether it's 200,000 or what, I don't know. Eh? 200, then 00 million cubic meters per year through six pipeline. eh, Through six pipeline. No lines, so but pipeline, not pipelines. Through six pipeline. Let me read what I see. From proved reserves of 7 million cubic meters. The trillionth cubic meter was produced on April 23rd, 1986. Next story, oil fields. The largest oil field is the Power field. Power is spelled capital GHAWAR. Power field. Okay, Power field, Saudi Arabia, developed by Aramco, which measures 150 miles by 22 miles. Oil field alone, 150 miles by 220 miles. I don't know if I'm exaggerating if I say there is a country as wide as just this wide. I don't know. Mm. 150 miles by 22 miles. At least 150 miles may be the breadth of a country. I don't know. I've seen countries like that. Okay, largest scarecrow. The largest scarecrow was built by HE Oxford Boy Scout organization. Another HT is omitted. Let me read. Let me put my own T there. The largest scarecrow was built by the Waterfall. There is my own way, by the Waterfall Boy Scout organization in uh, Nachencock, Canada, on October 25th, 1986, called Scrabber, no, called Scrabby, or called Scrabby. I was 50 feet, 5 feet inch in tall. You see, no T again. It was, so that's my own word. It was 50 feet, 6 inches tall, with a spread of 40 feet, 11 inches. I don't know if there is any story here worth reading. Hillary at war with wild child with wild child Chelsea. This gay sex fight hits up. Whose lady is this? Lisa Taylor. I don't know if that's okay. Then five pleasure maxing positions. I believe I've shown it to you. You see what human beings can do secretly. Hmm? The question is, does God endorse these kinds of decisions for us? Hmm? The- Does God endorse these kinds of positions for us? We all do it, but without thinking of the consequences. If they are going to produce children, what kind of children come out of these positions? We don't know. We only think of pleasure. Hmm? God have mercy on us. I mean, I'm included. I don't say I'm excluded. Oh, we shall leave this story for our next video. Konkonsa gossip. Alhaji Konkode's hot gossip. Hmm? Time is against us, so we will leave it for our next video, God willing. So I promise viewers, God willing, we shall do Konkodo's gossip. Okay, so next video we will go back to the Quran for the science there. I believe we are still on divorce. Mm. Since we are not animals, there are guidelines for us to divorce our women and they to divorce us. They are in the Quran. We will go there next week. You don't marry somebody and then just go. Or you don't marry somebody and write a letter to their father, like my in law did. I don't like her again. Then when you go and make your trials after a couple of years, you come back and write again, please, I need my wife back. So don't do that. Young man, don't do that, eh? Thanks a lot. Bye bye.